If I told you that you deserve better, you wouldn't believe me, would you? But when you start to see yourself, or not having enough, or not having the things that you want or want to experience, it affects you. My family, because that affects us, or the people around you that affects us. Survival versus comfort. I like comfort. You were told that you don't deserve good things. They lied to you. Did my face full of makeup for the first time, and well, not face full because I don't have on foundation. For the first time in, it's been some months. I don't even know when. And I feel good. Like I have fun doing it. And I wish I could have put on foundation, but the foundation I have, it oxidizes way too much, and I haven't bothered to go get a new one because I haven't been wanting to wear foundation. So for my skin, I fuck with it. So I enjoy astrology and I enjoy business. And so many people, and I know how things will change and stuff like that as we grow. So our opinions today may not be our opinions in 5, 10, 15 years. But currently, I was raised to hate money. Like so many people, I was raised to hate money. And that, these may be distracting with the jangling. Oh, but I feel naked without them. Okay, no, I'm gonna take them off. I was raised to hate money, but at the same time raised to think in abundance. Like the people that my family was obsessed with making money, but hated having it. And that stems from associating money with evil people. But at the same time, there were some who were obsessed with having money at all costs, like work themselves half to death and by any means necessary type things, and it caught up with them. But they always thought that the way that they had to make money was only like hard work, like forever until the day that they died. Like that was their mindset that they had. And I need to ask my family. A lot of them don't really believe in astrology. They'll listen to it, because me and my sister are big on astrology. We enjoy it. Well, I think I've dived deeper into it than she has, but they'll listen to it. But I would love to read their charts. That might be my task for this year, to ask my family, can I read your chart? Do you feel comfortable with me knowing your business? Because I know your business, but reading somebody's chart, their business. So I'm going to see if I can ask them. But I mostly want to focus on their habits with money, their relationship with money. I could ask them. I like looking at the chart because sometimes people aren't as honest when you straight up ask them. Hold on, I got these scales. These lessons or modules. So being raised around someone who watched people, my mother watched prosperity mindset and what's that dude with big church, Joel Osteen and stuff like that. Believe in that prosperity mindset, but also thinking that you won't get it, So looking at the source of that is the relationship you have with money and abundance and wellness and things. It's the source of that is looking at how your relationship with money affects how you make money. Because sometimes you have to look at your entire chart. So that's the reason you can see exactly why you have that relationship with money. Like maybe you need to learn certain things. Maybe you had to go through certain things in order to make your money. Maybe you had to try everything to make your money. So when we look at our relationship with money, we can easily find the holes or the reasoning why it's so hard for us to make money, or why we feel like we have to work ourselves half to death in order to make money. I also realized that I like business. I really like business. I enjoy the inner workings of that. I do enjoy And that's a Scorpio in me, the strategicness of it. Of course, there's other aspects in my chart, like my second house is Taurus, which is is ruled by Gemini, which is communications and technology, information, news, blogging, like tech. I love tech. I love technology. Like I love the inner workings and all of the things. And I have a cousin that works with tech, like works in the government with computers and things. And he used to bring me all the little techie things when growing up. Like every toy he always got me had to do with tech. So he'd help to fuel that love for it a lot. Like literally, he wouldn't buy me like extravagant tech things. Like I was 8 and he would buy me something like a big ass laptop. That wasn't the norm back then when I was younger, but he would buy me like those little dogs, those little robotic dogs that came out and everybody was like, oh my goodness, a robot dog, the new pets. Things like that. He got me my first Furby, which I was terrified of and fascinated with. Like I loved Furby. But living in the city, when you got cars going by your window and the Furby wakes up and starts talking. But that also kind of fueled my love for weird things too. So it was both. But yeah, tech, media, information, translations, PR, teaching. When I learn something, and this is the point of this video, when I learn things or when I research, when I learn things or start to think about big picture, my brain begins to break down the picture. Like I could start with a big, huge map, and then my brain will break up all of the different countries, sub things, and things like that. I don't just see big picture. I start to see little things. And that wasn't always the case because I would get overwhelmed and confused. But once I kind of settled my nervous system, that inquisitiveness and wanting to ask questions and find the answer for things, that got me to breaking down things into bite-sized pieces. So that I realized that a lot of people don't want to do therapy. They just don't. They don't feel comfortable with somebody, of course, different reasons why, but they don't feel comfortable with somebody digging into their brain and fleshing out all their deepest, darkest secrets and things. And I can't blame them. However, people like money, love money. They want money. They need money. And even if they don't like money, they enjoy the comfort. They want comfort. They want the power to be able to do things so that they don't lack. Some people are so stuck in their poor mindset, but that's also a part of it. Bad relationship with money and things like that. People like money. And if you piece together, or if you connect the dots between how they could best make money, their relationship with money, to their foundation of everything, you do therapy. You do therapy. Because I started thinking, I started wondering why I like business. But it wasn't just business. I'm fascinated with the inner workings of structure. I enjoy it so much. But also, I like teaching. That's the second house ruled by Gemini, communications. And I like breaking down things into bite-sized things for people to understand. We don't like being told go to therapy because it implies that there's something wrong with us. It implies that there's something that is not right with us that needs to be fixed. Over the last few years, there's that big conversation with, men versus women, and women being like, dude, you need therapy. You need therapy. Like, for real, sir. Like, you need therapy because it's obvious that. But the issue, I think, in certain things, especially when I do research, when I think I'm right, when I think of what I think about something, it's usually right. We don't like being told to go to therapy or fix ourselves because that means there's something wrong with us in our minds. But if we say how you look at X is the reason why you can't make Y amount of money, we might do some digging. We may start to try to figure out why we have feelings about certain things so that we can make more money, so that our business can do well, so that we can prosper and have more comfort. We might do some digging for that. It's like parents don't like being told, parent your kid better. But if you phrase it as, I just came up with that. So let me see. If you phrase it as, what kind of parent do you think you needed when you were younger? And how, if you were an innocent little being, how could someone gently be that for you? You got to rephrase it in a way that benefits them, because we are on it. We're attack mode. We're defensive because that's for survival. In order to survive, we've had to be on attack mode. So if people who have their defenses up, hello, Scorpio, stinger, you have to rephrase it in a way of, you got to hit here, right in the heart. It's one thing that I've learned about myself. My initial reaction is in your face. And I could do that. I've absolutely recorded myself going off. And I will post those. Like going off on the topic or everything. I will absolutely post those. But then once I sit on it and marinate on the topic or what was said or whatever, I start thinking and I can better communicate how I feel. So the first initial of feelings, which is usually defensive or maybe literally irritation or anger or something like that. And then the second one is more, well, I can see why that is. I understand where that came from. Well, maybe they didn't mean it like this. Maybe they were coming from a place of insert reason here. Oh, I get it. Now I can relay this information to them in a way that they'll understand and they won't be on attack mode. Okay. Let me say it like this, it's the process of my brain. But people like money. And if you get people thinking about all of the ways that their, natural behaviors may be stunting their money, but explain it in a way that they can bite-sized pieces actually eat it, chew it, and digest it, because that's essentially what we're doing. We're digesting the information. They more than likely won't be on attack mode. They will probably be more open and receptive to hear what you have to say. So I was trying to figure out why have I been so obsessed with money lately? And I'm not obsessed with money anymore. I'm not obsessed with getting money by any means necessary, because I know I make money very easily. I'm very good at doing that. When I actually put my mind to it, I'm very good at it. When I communicate, money comes towards me. When I actually like this, I'm very good at influencing and blogging, and I need to start vlogging and posting it more. Media, translating things. I've had hoteps, because I used to argue with hoteps on Facebook a lot. It was hell. But when I would actually get out of my defense mode and I would start to break certain things down to them, they would absolutely be on my side. I've had trolls trying to attack me because I was saying certain things that they didn't agree with, but I would break it down and not attack them. Once I started to grow, because I used to be on attack mode all the time. But when I would explain certain things to them, and you shouldn't have to, but some people you do have to. You just have to. If you are in the mindset to. Because I was like, no, fuck that. Because I am not exerting my energy for that. But now that I've been able to realign my nervous system, I have a tiny bit more patience for it. Now, if somebody's just trolling for the sake of trolling, mute, block, I ain't doing it. But if I just say my piece, it got to the point where I stopped doing it for them, and maybe somebody will come across what I say and they'll read it and be able to digest it, because we're not the only ones on the internet. I've seen people be attacked, but what they were saying absolutely made sense, and I had to respond to them. You know what? You weren't talking to me, but this you said a word, so thank you for that. Like that, they were coming at you, but you actually said a word, so I appreciate it. I didn't think about it that way. Or you elaborate on something I had wondered about. Thank you. So I not only, by healing my relationship with money, starting to relax my nervous system, going to solving, growing through trauma over these last 10 plus years, I've allowed myself to not just think about me. Oh, I am selfish in some ways. I deserve to be. But with my gifts, I'm very good at communicating. Ironically, that used to be a problem for me, but that I figured out why through processing. No, it never was a problem for me. How people perceived and received me was the problem. I stopped thinking about just myself, and I started communicating for not the greater good, but people who may come across it. So maybe somebody who's arguing might not be explaining themselves very well because they're frustrated and they're pissed, which, no, there's nothing wrong with that. But maybe they need somebody else to come in and translate, like the anger translator, not Key. It was Key. Keegan from Key and Peele for Obama. He had the anger translator. Literally, I'm very good at being an anger translator because I've been there. I was that person. Very angry, very hurt, very stinger. But the more I kind of like mellow out, not mellow. I'm still on 10. But I now know how to gather myself. Woosah. I know how to gather myself. So now I can better relay the message that someone is trying to relay, so that the other person can better digest it and they won't be on attack mode. But yeah, the all of that, trying to figure out why I felt the way I did about money, where that stemmed from, my family, because that affects us, or the people around you that affects us. Survival versus comfort. I like comfort. And I used to feel bad about not liking comfort, because once you enter in those spiritual sections, some of them make you feel bad about enjoying comfort. And it becomes more of a religious thing, because for some people it actually is. It's a form of religion. But I'm detached from religion to a certain degree. I read it because theism. Is it theism? Whatever. I'm fascinated by it. I am. But as my own practice and belief system, But they kind of shame people, because they start to force people to feel like monks. And I'm like, I'm not attached to my belongings anymore. I'm not, because I've lost so much stuff. I'm not attached to it. Things could go, all my stuff could, knock on wood. I ain't got no wood around here. But I could lose stuff tomorrow, and I know I'll have it in a year. I'll have it again. No problem. Because I've experienced it and I've seen it happen. But healing all of those things helped me to realize that my upbringing is connected to how I make money. My traumas are connected to how I make money. How I make money is related to how I look at certain things. You know, the more I grow and heal, the more I grow, the more money I make. Or the more resources I have, you know, that type of thing. It doesn't always have to be money, but it could be community. It could be shared resources. It could be, you know, I'm Scorpio. 8th house is other people's resources. It's how I look at money, because the 2nd house can rule, well, depending on where it is, it can affect how quickly money goes. And I can burn through some money. I've burned. When I look at how much money I've made over the last 10 years, I was ashamed and I did feel bad, but it was learned I needed to burn through all that money, because in burning through all that money, I was investing in myself, for me anyway. I wasn't hoarding a lot of things. I wasn't. And also, some of the things that I bought, I ended up giving to other people. Either they needed it, or I knew it would be perfect for them. And it wasn't just, oh, I'm just going to give anybody anything. It wasn't, oh, I'm just going to give anybody anything because I'm a good gift giver. It was, hey, because I bought a bunch of like stones and glitters and things because I was going to use it for my makeup, but I realized I like either a smoky eye or simple makeup. My roommate does nails, and they also do their makeup more than I do. I said, hey, I have all of these. It was like 20 little sets of gemstones and stuff, and plenty of glitters that I've had over the years that I never use. I said, hey, do you want these? And they were like, oh, perfect. So I didn't realize that I was buying it for them. I thought I was buying it for me, but instead of throwing it away or feeling like I wasted money, now they have it. So also reframing how I look at my possessions. Sometimes they weren't meant to be ours forever. Also, we have a roommate that makes clothes, and they refurbish and repurpose a lot of clothes. We've given him so many pieces of fabric that he has used and turned it into like beautiful things. Like it's dope. Not being too attached to things, because if I lose something today, I could get it back tomorrow. I know that. But I didn't always know that. I had to, being raised by people who were always losing things, it affects you. I've had people people in my family were homeless, and my own birth mother walked around with her purse always because she dealt with paranoid schizophrenia her entire life and was in and out of homeless shelters or even in rooms where people stole her possessions. So always feeling like you needed to hoard things and like you would never get them again, that's a real trauma. But when you start to see yourself, well, not having enough or not having the things that you want or want to experience, it affects you. Like it really does. Is that the dog? I heard somebody squeal. I think it was the dog. Oh. And our dog is usually quiet, so it's any time she make a noise, it's like, is she sleeping, dreaming? But healing that relationship with possessions and money, that is second house things. It's possessions, it's community, it's how you look at your resources and how you look at money. So you can't, I'm not going to say can't, because people can easily make money. You have an easier time making money when you grow in certain aspects. So I was always told that, you could be a therapist. You could be you could be somebody's therapist. I think you'd be good at that. And I was like, I don't, because therapy traditionally didn't work for me. I've been in therapy off and on my entire life. I was first in therapy when my birth mother died. I was 13. And I was like, I didn't like it. It didn't work for me. Not really. I was like trying to get the lady to understand, I know what's wrong with me. How do I fix it? How do I deal with it? I'm not stupid. I'm very hyper aware. That's my problem. Tell me, how do I deal with it? What do I do with everything that I'm feeling? How do I accept that I have feelings? And sometimes they may be a lot. How? I had to find that out for myself. But traditional therapy was not for me. Talk therapy was not for me because I don't talk to people about my inner workings or my feelings unless I trust them. I don't trust many people. I talk to myself, actually. I have a lot of these recordings where I talk out my feelings and I talk to myself. That helped. So technically it was talk therapy, just not with a stranger. That didn't work for me. Because like I said, I'm very self-aware. I know why I do the things that I do. It was dealing with my emotions and having to go to the root of things. And I realized that I was supposed to do that so that I could help other people and understand myself better. But back then, people always say, oh, my mother, oh, you got to help people. You got to do this, that, and the third. How can I help people when I don't even think I should be here? Like, I'm not thinking about other people. Like, I'm thinking about myself. And sometimes you can't just say that. You have to give a good example as to why that is. And for some people, you do have to relay it back to who they are and how they could benefit and how it affects them in order for them to get a big picture. And a lot of us don't like that. We think, you should just have empathy for everybody. Some people don't, babes. Some people don't. So sometimes you have to make it about them so that they can get it when it comes to other people. But it should be like that. Humans are like that. You're going to have to deal with it. So the landlords and stuff, some people just won't care. And you won't have to deal with it. You have to deal with it. But the landlords and stuff, you're going to have to understand, if you don't upgrade your house, you're going to be losing money. If you don't upgrade these things and you get the right tenant that knows their rights, they could go to the city and you'll have to pay a big fine. You could go to jail for not doing X, Y, and Z. You can, if they get sick and die because of all this mold in your house, you could be liable. You have to, you have to know how to communicate to get your cause and your purpose or whatever, your point across better. And that's what people are learning. The strikes on celebrities for Palestine of them. If you're not posting about this, we're dropping our attention from you. Some of them celebrities that worked on. You can't preach at some people. I had to learn that too. You have to talk to them, not at them. Because I had to think. I was like, There was a time when you weren't going to tell me what to do, because freedom. We don't like to feel like we lose our freedom. You're not going to tell me what to do at all. But when someone would suggest something, or have you ever thought about it like this? Or, I would watch somebody else's story and watch them go through similar things. And I was like, well, they kind of changed that. Maybe I can, I see it worked for them. So maybe I could try it. I had to learn through experience or even other people's experience. It didn't work for me to be, you got to do this and do that and da-da-da-da. I was not somebody that was going to fall in line. I am not compliant. I am divergent. I am not compliant. So you can't talk at me. You can't military school it at me, because I'm going to be like, who the fuck you think you're talking to? I will absolutely take that. Whatever is coming at me. I'm not, it has to make sense for me in order to do it. It's like with someone who may not like motivational speakers. I get it. Because it's like, some people think it's corny. But for some people it works. But when you dig into some people who don't like that motivational positive speak, because I was there at one point, it was because I didn't see the value in myself at all. Like at all. So when you're coming from a place of low self-esteem, it's hard for people to want to hear positive talk because they don't see it for themselves. So you have to reframe it in a way of, why do you think you don't deserve good things? Who made you feel like you don't deserve good things? You don't deserve a better life. You don't deserve to want to have things, or you don't see it for yourself to be able to have an easier life. Who made you feel like that? And if that's too much, it's like, oh, I have not stretched. Stretch, y'all. Yeah, who made you feel like you didn't deserve better or good things? Why don't you think you deserve good things? Why do you think everything has to come at a struggle? Sometimes it's because that's all they've known. Sometimes it's from family, parents, whoever was around them. And it was like, if I told you that you deserve better, you wouldn't believe me, would you? Me. Like, you wouldn't believe me. You were told that. That's not actually what you were told, that you don't deserve good things. They lied to you. You have to hit them here. Because when you have somebody at their lowest, be it desperation for money, be it low self-esteem, be it no self-esteem, desperation in general for love, for attention, whatever, you have to break it down at the point of who made you feel like you have to do all of this to have the bare minimum. And they lied because you deserve everything. Some people still won't believe that. But when you break it down and they start thinking about some things, like their childhood upbringing, they might be like, when somebody told you that you didn't deserve better or you made you feel like you didn't, how did that make you feel? It didn't make you feel good, did it? Then how could that be true? If it didn't make you feel genuinely good and happy, it's a lie. And I don't mean genuinely good and happy like you were, because that's tricky. You were so starved for attention that any type of attention made you feel good. I mean, like, go back to and some people, it might be too much to go back to their childhood. So you have to, depending on the person, everything isn't a blanket because you have to break it down. Some people have childhoods that they're going to need a lot of support to go back and think. But, and sometimes you can even go, I have X, Y, and Z. Do you think I'm more special than you to get these things? Because I'm not. I'm not. You can have X, Y, and Z just like I have, or you can have a certain level of peace just like I have, because I'm not more special than you are. I'm not. We're equal to each other. We're as special as each other are. As special as each other are. Is that the right phrasing? It's when you get people at their most like basic need, that's usually where you hit them in the right here. So I even asked my mother, I was like, why do you think and feel like you have to work so hard in order to get the bare minimum? I like my makeup. Was that there the whole time? I hope not. So I was thinking about, because I want to teach, I want to look at astrology. And I want to teach astrology, but a lot of people don't want to become astrologers. They just want to learn more about themselves. And there's 1,000,002 videos on astrology. But I want to teach it in a way of, because some people aren't interested in astrology. Some people just want to know the themes of it, They don't care. Some people don't believe in it. Oh, hold on. Pull my dress up. Some people don't believe in astrology at all, but the themes of astrology could help them in their lives, and that's what they want to know about. So I'm going to do both. Like the themes of astrology, but also do like readings or teaching certain aspects of astrology and how people can flesh out more of their placements for themselves, but also teaching the themes of like second house. How do you look at the relationship of money? Even if I don't say it in a video, because I'm very manipulative. Even if I don't say second house, rule Taurus and Gemini in the video, I could phrase it in a way that would break down the questions of how do you feel about your possessions? Do you have a lot of things? Are you more of a minimalist? Why do you think that is? Growing up, how was your relationship with money? How do you feel about community? Breaking it down to themes, because some people just don't. I know how to manipulate. Some people don't care about astrology, but the themes of it's very relevant. And in order for you to use it, you don't actually have to believe in it. So, because for some reason I was focusing on the aspect of money, and I was like, I'm not obsessed with money anymore. I like business and I do want money. I do want more money, and I know it's coming. But I've been led to focus more on the spiritual aspects of myself and other people and community and helping other people. Because I know the more I help people, the more I get resources. Like, I've been given things, like people, about food, resource, everything. I've been given things the more I help and pour into other people, as well as myself. Or, showing, being and presenting myself as me and who I am has helped people to be who they are and feel more confident and comfortable in who they are. So I am a servant. I am a service of the people. That's my Virgo. Wait, no, Virgo's not my sixth house. I can't remember what it is. But yeah, I was trying to figure out how can I apply, because I do want to help people who want to be helped, but how I know how to help them. And how I know how to help people is through my experience, but also astrology. Because I know how to break down those themes in a way that people who have no interest in it could understand all of that and how it affects us. I need to get a new tripod. That's what I'm going to get next month, because this holding the phone thing is not good. Invest in yourself. Sometimes investing in yourself means time. Sometimes it means energy. And a lot of times it means money. I'm going to invest in my skin, because look at this. Dry. Dry. I need to exfoliate. But I can't exfoliate without hydrating. Dry. And I know it's dry when I can see these fine lines right here, because I went a whole year without hydrating. I was stressed, child. So those lines were very defined in my face. And also, it was a cream I was using. I had too much, what is the exfoliating thing that you used to have to get over the counter, but now they have it in other forms. I can't think of it. But I used it too much with no sunscreen. Dry my skin out. But yeah, I know how to break down certain things so that I can relay the benefits to other people who may not necessarily get it, or they might not be there, or may not care about going about it the same way that I went about it, but I'm very good at communicating with people who either was where I am. Who either is where I was, or who may be very no, I don't want it. Sales. Taurus in the second house, Gemini. I am a very good saleswoman. And speaking of sales, I used to be afraid of sales, because all the things are in my chart. I used to go about sales in a masculine way. I have very masculine energy. I'm triple Mars ruled, babes. Like Pluto and Mars. Scorpio, Sun and Moon. Aries rising. I am a hot ball of energy. That's why I have no hair, because when I get hype, my head get hot. And if I have hair, it makes me feel like I want to I needed to go somewhere. So I feel a lot better when I don't have hair on my head. I do. And that might not be forever, but that's why I wear wigs, because I've taken off a wig when I was frustrated before. I was just like, oh my God, get off. But I have very masculine energy. And masculine energy is different from how you present yourself. Energy is masculine energy is doing. Always have to do, go. And that's me. But it was me too much, to the point of I was hurting myself. I was overworking myself. I was roommate. Water break. I was too much of a people pleaser, because I was trying to overcompensate for things. I was always doing for other people and not really doing for myself. It was off. So my feminine energy was very off. Feminine energy is also doing, but it's more so receiving. Feminine energy is protection as well, for the things that you care and love about, but it's not a duty, So I'm more receptive of things. I know I'm more deserving of good things now than I was before. I didn't feel because I never knew a woman who was at peace. I saw women who was at peace on TV and wanted that for myself, but around me, every woman I knew was always working because they had to. And they hated me because I refused to put in as much work as they did. And when I did, I would get sick. I would get sick. Literally. Not sick like cold wise, because my immune system, I've worked hard to build up my immune system as someone who was in and out of hospitals and basically had no immune system when I was a baby. Like my immune system and nervous system was garbage. It was bad. But I was like, I can't work as hard as y'all do. And they were stressed too. Some of them would always be sick as well. Colds and flus and stuff like that, or overly emotional and angry and stuff. And I was like, I see how hard y'all work. I don't want that. I don't want to be like y'all. I admire them because of the work that they had to do and how much they did. But I saw that they were hurting and they were angry and frustrated. And I said, I don't want that for myself. So being able to sit back and learn how to be more receptive and more accepting and more like, bring it here instead of overexerting myself and things like that. But directing my more masculine energy in a way that would not burn me out. Excuse me. But in a way that would forge like a path or something, in a way that was very useful for me. Like I'm very strategic. I'm very good at carrying out a plan. I am. I'm also very good. Well, I am good at carrying out somebody else's plan if I'm in the mood to help. But I'm really good at making a plan and putting together pieces and then allowing other people to carry it out for me. Now. But, yeah, I've had to learn how to slow down. And how to not always be on 10 and on guard, and how to just allow things to flow. Like my nails, blue, like water. Water flows. It also can destroy, but when it's peaceful, it just little ways it flows. So the fact that I've embodied that, I would love to help women learn that, and even men, because we have masculine and feminine in all of us. But I can relate to the masculinity aspect of it, the energy. I'm not a man. I'm not a woman either. I'm a feminine being. I'm a being. But, outside, people perceive me to be a woman. So, and it's so funny. Oh. People would say, pick something, pick somebody, pick a group of people that you can help. Don't try to help everybody. I believe I can help everybody. Not everybody, but I have my groups of people that I know I can help. And people be like, you got to get it down to the most minimal person and did it. I don't want to do that. I don't like being told what to do unless I'm ready to accept it. I don't want to do that. I want to help multiple people. Of course, I want to help people who want to be helped, because I'm not going to stress myself with people who ain't there yet. But I know how to help those three groups of people that I'm thinking of, which are women over, certain demographic. I'm a dominatrix, so I've actually helped men already. I've helped men tap into their feminine energy in a way, so I know I can help them as well, because I can relay that information to them in a way that they'll understand it, because I have that masculine side of me, and I'm tapped into it, Mars. But also those who may be neurodivergent, people who might not be able to stick to one thing, or they might not be typical and check boxes of the norm or whatever. Because I am all of those people, I know I can help all of those people. The order in which I help those people is what I'm deciding on, because it's starting with the neurodivergent sex workers. That's what I'm working on helping now, and then it's going to go to women. Well, I want to perfect that first. I'm going to do men because they're easy. I started with neurodivergent sex workers because that's where I was at first. I was thinking about that, but men are so easy. All you gotta do is look good and talk good game. You can get them to do whatever you want, and I know how to persuade them in a way that'll benefit everybody. But the women over a certain age, that's the one I want to really focus on over the next year or two, and really like give my all to, because they deserve it, especially if they're ready, but they just don't know how. They deserve that. And it might be a select few, because not everybody is ready, and I don't care. That's all I care about, you know. So I know I'll probably be helping those women for a longer time than everybody else, because some neurodivergent people are still on the defense, and that's understandable. They don't feel safe, especially disabled people. They don't feel safe. They don't feel supported. So it might not be as wide a group as the women who are a little bit older and they just need some help. But I also know how to speak to the neurodivergent people in a way that they'll feel supported. So if they come across my videos at any point, they can watch them whenever they get ready and they'll be there. Men are so easy. They're really easy. I'm smiling because I'm laughing. I'm like really laughing. Men are so easy. All you gotta do is stroke their ego. All you gotta do is talk them up. Make it worthwhile for them. That's it. Ooh, and also help women to communicate with men and get more things out of them. I could do that. But yeah, they're so very easy. If you present the idea to them in a way that's going to benefit them. Like I brought up the men supporting the divine feminine to a guy, and he was like, I said, look at all the men who outwardly support women. How are their lives going? Do you think they constantly have women arguing with them? Do you think they have women who don't want them? You look at it and be like, oh, they have money, they have this, they have that. But look at the attention they give them. And I don't mean women who are low self-esteem. I don't mean that. Like I was like, because I was like, oh, well, they can talk to them any kind of way. I was like, do you want a woman like that? Or do you want a woman who knows who she is and still wants you? Do you want a woman that would just do, and some men do, because they don't believe they can do better. I was like, you would get tired of the woman who always nags you because she wants your attention. Because she's so desperate and lonely and has low self-esteem. And anybody comes by, because I used to be that, anybody comes by and she's attracted to them or they talk a good game, she's going to go with them. Is that what you want? Or do you want somebody who sees you, likes you, and is in love with you? Whatever your relationship is. I know they'll believe that. But it's the truth, because it helps everybody, Like, do you date? And I'm not talking about the ones that call men simps. I'm not talking to them. They would not be my target audience. The ones who have some sense, but just need a little bit more like to change the telescope so they can see a little bit more clearly. That eyeliner on my... Yeah, those would be my target audience. The ones that just need a little, reasoning, and they got it. Yeah. So technically that is narrowing down, but that's not all I'm going to stick with. I could have multiple, because I have multiple interests, but I don't have to work on them all at the same time. The way that I narrow it down is who do I want to help first? Who needs the most time and energy, and what order I want to do things in to make it easier on myself. So I know that long run, I do want to help younger people. But they need a lot more. And right now I am not at a place of energy where I want to help them. Not like that. Not as detailed as what I probably will be when I become an elder, when I get over 45 and 50. No. I could be of guidance and be like indirect support through influencing and blogging and stuff, but the amount of support and attention they need, I know it's not what I want to give right now, because I've done that my whole life. Men can be needy, but they're also easy. If you guide them in the right direction, and they have those resources, because I'm dominatrix, I've made videos, so they can keep coming back to things, they'll get it. It's very easy. But the older women is what I want to focus on, at least right now. Well, in the next few years. I think when I get older, I probably will focus my attention, of course, on younger people, because I'll have more patience and more time and more freedom to do that. But yeah, the older women right now, I think is what I want to give support to. Or those around my age too. A little bit older. Those around my age, like 30 to 45, 50, depending. The ones who, may not be as tech savvy or things like that, and just need a little bit more of, girl, who told you don't deserve that? Because there's a lot of older women on TikTok that I see that have found their way onto younger women TikTok, and they're like, I'm so glad you said this. I wish I had this when I was younger, but you made me realize some things. And now I'm living my best life because I've seen so many younger women and younger girls do it. And it spoke to me. And I wish I had that when I was younger. They're open to learning that. They just need to see it. And, because it's a little person inside of all of us. It's who we are. But, the person the thing that we needed when we were younger at a different phase in our lives is what it's speaking to. That's still a part of us. That makes sense. So yeah, I'm about to go take some notes. And there's a few more videos that I'm going to record. I need to find my tripod. A few more videos that I'm going to record because I found some topics that I wanted to speak on. But yeah, that's one of them. And this week I need to start posting my stuff. So that's what I'm going to do this week, is start posting a lot of the recordings and stuff that I've filmed over the last 4 years, including some of the more fiery, feisty ones. I'm gonna post them too, because it's a part of my journey. If people could see where I came from and where I am now. I used to be angry. I was pissed all the time. Yeah, they can possibly learn from and just see it, and maybe it'll speak to them or a place where they were, and they can feel it.